Hello, I'm going to talk about the binary power hardware kit from Alco Technologies. So one of the reasons why I decided to design this was when I was installing a dash cam in my car. I needed a hardware kit because I didn't want the wire to dangle down. So the first dash cam I had was a USB mini, and it was this one right here. But I wanted to switch to a better one that had USB Type C. So then it would require me to change the whole wiring I just did, all reroute the whole thing. So, or do like an adapter maybe to that, and it was just a cumbersome. So I decided to design a power supply and a hardware kit that kind of it's more modular, which allows you to change any things. And there was a lot of safety issues that I had with some of the hardware kits, especially the ones that were more affordable. Um, so what I decided to do is design a modular system. So right now, this is the power supply. So you have USB Type A connector on this end, and then you have DC jack barrel connector on the DC jack connector on this end. And it's a standard DC jack connector, 5.5 and outside diameter, and then 2.1 internal diameter. So a lot of Arduinos use this type of DC jack connector. What's nice about the USB Type A is that you could use any cable, USB cable you want to. So right now this is just a mini, just because it goes with that dash cam, but you could use any type. So you just plug it in here, and now you have a nice connection. I have it small because the way I mount this is I mount it to the back of the mirror with a Velcro right here, and then this runs right where the dash cam is. So it's nice and clean. There's not wire dripping down. There's nothing in my way when I'm driving. So I'll explain a little bit more about it. So right here, this is the routing wire. So what's nice thing about this routing wire is that it has a DC jack right here, and then the other end has a bullet connector for the fuse steps, and also has a grounding fork connector for that, so you could ground it. What's nice about it is that this wire kind of splits apart, so you could choose where to ground it. If you want to ground it right next to the, let's say, fuse box, if you have a nice ground connection there, you can. But if you don't have it, you could separate them as much as you want to, as much distance as you want to, because this will literally separate all the way up. So then you can put it wherever you want to. And then here we have the fuse stamp. So let's say I would want to fuse that. I chose a bullet connector. Again, I wanted to make it all modular, because a lot of times if this fails, sometimes this will fail. If this fails, then I could easily replace it. I just unplug it and replace it. This really bullet connector, I really like them. They're very secure, keeps everything very secure, and also there's no shorts, and it's good for vibration and no problem. So then you connect that and then plug it in. So one of the things that I like the binary power supply itself is that it's very small, and this is the board itself, what's inside of this box, and so it has a lot of protections in there. That's one thing I wanted to do, is a lot of safety protection. I wanted to have fusing on the input and also the output. So on the input right here, we have a PTC fuse there, so in case there's a short, it will open up, it protects the input. And then on the output, on the USB, it also has a PTC fuse, in which it opens up, and then when the short goes away, it closes back up, so then you could use it. So it doesn't damage your system, it doesn't damage the unit, it doesn't damage anything down the line, or damage the wiring and anything like that. Another issue that I saw with the fuse the hardware kits is every single one of them came with like 10 amp fuse for fuse tap. So the issue with that is that if you have a 10 amp fuse and you're trying to put 10 amps through a very thin wire, that's a lot of current, and it will damage the wire, and it could start a fire in your car. So what you want to do is that right now this circuit does not need more than 2 amps. Even 2 amps is too much, but I think the lowest I could get is 2 amps and display fuses. but it doesn't need more than 2 amps. So all our fuses are either 2 amps, and I believe the micro ones can only come in at 5 amps. They're quality fuses, and so this way, when you put them in here, and it protects this wire. So one purpose of a fuse, there's two purposes that I usually choose a fuse for: to protect the wire and to protect the device. But you have to make sure it could do both. So a 10 amp fuse for a device that only draws about a half an amp, there's no need to. And then the wire itself cannot withstand 10 amps through it. It will burn up and it can start a fire in a car. So that's the reason we have 2 amps or 5 amps. And another reason that I wanted to make a modular, I had other kind of ideas for the power supply. It was, I wanted to have, you know, any kind of DC jack. So let's say we have some ideas here. We have some, here's a, you know, AA batteries and with a DC jack on it. So you plug it in. So let's say we take our your USB right here, and then we plug it into our dash cam. So right now we could power this dash cam from this AA batteries. So it'll show it, see if it shows it on camera. So see, you can power from the AA, and this is not just for dash cams, it could be for any project. So let's say you have a hobby project or anything like that, for any kind of emergencies. Another one is like if you have in case of an emergency and your phone is dead, if you have you know AA batteries around, a lot of people do in their drawer, or a 9 volt. So we have one for 9 volts right here. You can put a 9 volt in there, you know, plug it into the unit, and now you're charging your phone in an emergency, or you charging anything else like that. We do have other connectors here. We have a cigarette lighter one, and we have just an alligator clip one. So this one you can connect to any power source, or power supply, or battery, other batteries. And we also have, which I don't have in front of me, but we have a big for like car batteries, so clips for a car battery, so you could connect it to that. Well, that is it. I just kind of want to talk about it, the reason I designed it, and kind of the reason and all these files, I'm going to post them for free on alcatechnologies.com, and you know, I'm going to post a schematic and layout, and also the 3D files for the enclosure. And you know, it's open, anybody could use it if you want to use the design, or if you want to create your own, or if you want to kind of see, hey, kind of the reason for the design, or just to see the schematic itself, to see what the components were chosen and all that, you could go there. Well, thank you very much, and I hope you have a nice day.